Hey, it's Soleil, and this is episode 179 of the Orange Pill Investor. And today I have a critical update because I was so proud of all the research that I did on that cost per delta episode and spreadsheet. And then it occurred to me when I was walking the dogs this morning and listening to Quant Bros 6 that I might be full of shit. So here's and I think I alluded to it in that video when I said something along the lines of, theoretically, there's no amount of delta that you can buy as far as options are concerned that will fully ensure covered call protection. And what occurred to me is that I was only, down here, I'm only figuring out the cost to purchase it. But anytime you open a contract, you also have to close that contract before expiration, or it will be, closed for you. And if I'm selling at $139 per delta, well, at expiration date, delta's going to be 1. And if the price of MicroStrategy is like $3,000 because it just moonshotted in 1 week, now the price, I need another line in the spreadsheet right here that shows, if I get bent over, then the price of purchasing this back would be like $3,000 per delta. So that would hurt. Now, here's the thing: it's all probabilities, and so the delta says about every other week it should be breaching my strikes, and I should expect this 1550 strike to get, be threatened and potentially get called away. But you still don't know by how much. It could go to 1551, and you're only gonna have to pay $1 to to close it or to roll it. But if the price goes to 2,050, now that's $500 a share times 100 shares, which is 50 grand, which hurts. So that's a piece that is not included in here. And folks should keep that in mind. And it just goes to show you that, as soon as somebody says something on the internet, as soon as I say anything on here, you should probably think to yourself, fuck this guy. What does he know anyway? And then you should evaluate anything that's being said, whether it passes the sniff test, does it make any sense? Can I poke any holes in it? And now that I've done performed penance on myself and lashed myself over the back enough times to absolve my sins, I'm going to say that I am constantly doubting everything that everything that I say and trying to poke holes in it. And it's funny sometimes because I think I actually poke more and better holes in my own theories than most of my critics do. A lot of times people will just throw out casual comments like, "Oh, you're picking up pennies in front of a steamroller," just shit like that, or "Oh, you're gonna pay short-term capital gains tax," and I'm like, "Okay, pay the taxes." I haven't actually run the numbers, so that never really stopped me from running my mouth before. But I would, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I'd rather pay short-term capital gains tax now when I really don't make that much money than I would paying capital gains taxes 10 years from now when I'm making a metric ass ton of money. And I have I have very little doubt that the way that I trade, won't lead to that eventual outcome. It's It seems mathematically impossible, and I've said it in dozens of videos, but if you're collecting 1% a week and reinvesting those profits, then the gains end up turning into basically a compound interest scenario. And so it doesn't even really matter if MicroStrategy is trading at 140 or 1,000 or 2,000. The value of my account will be X, which will be the number of shares times however many shares I have. And X will be way down here. Sometimes it'll be way up here. Sometimes it'll be down here. And it really just doesn't matter because I will be collecting 1, 2, 3% of X every week. And even this covered call that I sold at the money, which is getting completely destroyed already, I may have to pay a pretty penny to roll this next week, depending on what happens. Okay, this wants to open up slow as shit. But I sold the 1550, no, 16 something. Oh my god, what's taking so long? If I actually planned ahead, maybe I would have had this ready. Here we go. So I sold an at the money 16. God, I need my glasses. That's 1625, 1685, something. That isn't even the point. I got paid $84.95, so $8,495 for this. And this is just 100 against 100 shares. So let's say I didn't have any expectations about MicroStrategy's price. Like, I'm super bullish on it over the next year and a half. But let's say I had no expectations whatsoever, and I had 100 shares of MicroStrategy, and I sold at the money covered calls every week. Could I live on $8,500 a week? Like, $8,000 a week times 50 weeks, is that 400,000? Like, that's more than the cost of 100 shares of MicroStrategy. So while I think I was definitely missing a big piece here, that I was only looking at how much it cost me to buy these things and not how much it was going to cost me to sell them again at expiration. In the end, I still just don't care. You know, $8,000 a week times 50 weeks. Yeah, it's 400,000. 100 shares of MicroStrategy is only 1,700 right now. So I can own 100 shares of MicroStrategy, sell covered calls against it, and make more per year than MicroStrategy even costs. I could buy another 100 shares of MicroStrategy at the current prices and still have the other $200,000 to live off of. So, it's funny. I saw the Chris Cole interview and I read one of his papers. I got to go back and read them again. But in one video, he said that, selling covered calls and puts and stuff absolutely destroys capital over a 100-year period. And my heart just sank. I was like, oh no, I suck. And I really just binged his videos and he's got a really cool dragon portfolio that I think is probably one of the best I've ever seen. And the only thing that I would do would be to change his 20% gold allocation to Bitcoin. And I think even someone who's not a laser-eyed Bitcoiner like myself could completely get behind. Like, even if you're not orange-pilled at all, I think that guy's dragon portfolio with just the Bitcoin swap would be an absolute fucking winner. And I think that's all I got for now. I got to actually travel today, so this is going to be a short one. But I wanted to kind of, I talk a lot of shit, and I'm a little provocative in some of my posts. Um, so I thought it was only right that I had a little bit of an epiphany this morning and thought, ah, crap, I need to issue a little bit of a retraction or, amend some of the things that I was saying yesterday. So really needed to get this out here before I travel. Not really sure if I'm gonna be able to, doing some family stuff came up, and not sure if I'm gonna be able to record this week. I'll be back next Saturday, and all right, that's it for now. Be good, y'all.